Alright, what's going on guys, it's your boy Zuchi. Welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the top 5 best decks to run in Master Duel this season. Just overall, because these decks are literally just so good for every single season so far, or recent seasons, and then this season as well. So like last season, the season before that. And yeah, we'll take a look at those. This is going to be completely opinionated, okay? These are what I personally think are the best decks in the game right now for grinding up to Diamond 1 if you want to get those Diamond 1 points, right? So if you have any feedback, let me know in the comments below. Don't be mean. I will fight you. Okay, I won't fight you, but still, please try to be mindful that this is my opinion, and let's just hop straight into it. So first of all, we're going to go down from 5 to 1, right? 1 being the best, 5 being still really good, but not the best out of the best, right? So let's take a look at my first one here. So we're gonna scroll down. I think I'm gonna put as showcased here, I'm gonna put heroes down at 5, right? So let's take a look at the hero deck list that they have on here. The hero deck is so good, right? For every season so far, since season 1, right? I've made videos on this deck. Thanks to my boy Peru, shout out to him. I've made videos on this deck showcasing that how good it is, right? So a lot of people would think, ah, hero's not that good, right? This deck is really good. It's a bunch of floodgates, right? So you have plasma, you have dark law, and you have your set cards, right? Those help you play through any of your opponent's cards. So going second is pretty good. DPE is really good still. Going first, even better. You can set up your dark law, or even plasma is just insane. This deck really good, showed through time and time again that it can compete. Peru gets Diamond 1 with it every single season in like 10 seconds. It's like insane how good he is with this deck. Obviously this deck is very technical, like you have to know how to use this deck, right? It has a lot of combos in there. It's very hard, I'm not gonna lie to you, to at first realize all the combos that you can do, but after a while you can get used to it. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put this deck in the 5th spot. Really good deck. I don't know if it has been topping any tournaments for the Master Duel, like the Master Duel meta tourney, like meta weekly and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's been doing that, but personally, for grinding up to Diamond rank to Diamond 1, this deck is very good, very consistent. So yeah, number 5 spot for this one. I forgot to show you the extra deck. Here is the extra deck right here. Really good extra deck, as you can see they're running Dark Law at 2 here, and DPE, the Sunrise, the Absolute Zero, just really good cards overall. So yeah, this is the deck list that you guys could copy right here if you want to use it. Next deck I'm going to showcase you guys here is the Fluwander V's at the number 4 spot. When it came out, really good. Like everyone was using this because they were tired of all the special summons. They were tired of Max C, right? So people were using this deck in order to counter stuff like Adventure Tenny, decks that special summon a lot. So any of the synchro decks, to be honest. It's just overall a really good deck that stops your opponents from basically playing, right? So going first, this deck is very deadly if you have the right cards. If you have Map in your hand, plus one of these Fluwanderies, you're basically set. I'm not gonna lie to you, because then you can get your Dreaming Town out. You can also get this card out, which is really good against cards like Super Poly, because apparently you can't Super Poly their monsters if this card is on the field, and I don't know why still to this day, but you know, it is what it is. You have a bunch of floodgates in the deck with the monster effects, right? You have the Ryza being able to bounce stuff back, you have this being able to negate, you have this stopping your opponents from special summoning any monsters that's not wind, and you have a bunch of back row as well, including Maxi, right? So this deck is very good if you are tired of all the special summons in the game, and it does struggle going second, I'm not gonna lie to you, because you have to play through the opponents negates. This deck doesn't really do that too well, and you can play some kaiju monsters in there, right, with this deck, because why not? You can bounce it back anyway. So I feel like this deck deserves that number 4 spot, just because it's going turn 1 is like insane, but turn 2 it does struggle a little bit. But that could be just me being trash at the game, I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys do think of this deck being number 4. It is really good to grind to Diamond rank, I'm not gonna lie to you. You can get from Platinum to Diamond really easy. It will struggle getting to Diamond 1 a little bit, but you can definitely get up there. Like if you play like 8 hours a day, probably like you're gonna get there within like 3 hours or something, 4. but you will have a little bit of a rough time dealing with some of the decks that's in this game, and obviously bricking. But every deck does brick. So let's take a look at the extra deck here. So that's what they run for the extra deck. And yeah, this deck is very good if you guys want to go ahead and use it. Here's the deck list that just use Yu-Gi-Oh! Neuron. I'm not sponsored by them, but the app is so good. Like, it legit shows you every card that's on the screen. Just put your phone up to the screen and then take a picture or just scan it and it'll tell you every card that's on the screen. So yeah, definitely check that app out and definitely check this deck out if you are interested. Number 4 spot goes to this. Alright, so we have the number 3 spot here, and it's pretty clear to me that this will be the Dragon Link. This deck, since season 1, has been putting in work. I'm not gonna lie to you. This deck has shown time and time again that it can withstand the meta no matter what. This meta specifically, because it got its new cards in the latest pack, is very, very, very good. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen a lot of people use it. Going second is insane. Going first is just destruction. Okay, first of all, this is a 60 card version, so you don't have to run 60 cards. You can run 40 cards and be perfectly fine going second or first. But this version right here, obviously you have the grass, so you can play through a bunch of stuff with that, or bait negates and stuff like that. But this deck is very, very good. I am in the process of building it myself because I want to use it on stream, because I will be streaming again. Definitely be on the lookout for that. Maybe today, it could be tomorrow. But if you don't have the notifications on, I need you guys to hit that notification button so that you guys can get that notification for when I do stream. But let's put that to the side. This deck is very, 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 very good. Especially this season. You're going to see it a lot. I think a lot of people are going to be using it. But Hulk got banned, so you're not going to be seeing a lot of Auroradon Hulk combos, right? So this deck is very good. I don't think it even runs Hulk in this one. Yeah, very, like, it's just so good. You could synchro, you could Xyz, you could link all in one turn, build an incredible board. I think the end board with this deck would be, if you go in turn 1, right, or even turn 2, you go here, you end up with this guy, you end up with this on the field and this, and then you also end up with, like, I don't think this deck is running it, Boral and Dragon. If you do decide to run Boral and Dragon, then you can end up with that as well. But if not, then it would be this, sometimes this, or sometimes this, or sometimes this. Either way, it would be like Borreload Savage Dragon, then the Archfiend right here. Then sometimes if they do the plays right, they'll have Baron de Fleur if they have the right plays in hand, and then they'll end on like this card right here. But in other words, if they do run the Boral and Dragon, then they would also end on that as well. So yeah, this deck is very good. Boral and Dragon being super, super good. Not being able to be destroyed by card effects or targeted for destruction. And then you have the Boral end with the negate, and then you also have the Archfiend and Baron with their negate. So very, very good end board, very good deck. If you guys want to use it, here is the deck list. 60 cards. Like I said, you don't have to run 60. If you want to wait for my video to come out, I will showcase you guys that deck soon. Okay, so for the number 2 spot here, it can vary between the number 1 spot and this Sword Soul deck, right? But after, you know, taking a look at it and see which deck so far has the most impact, well, I would say last season had the most impact. I'm gonna have to give it to this, or the deck that's in number 1. This one deserves number 2 as well. I think it could be interchangeable. I think you can put this one in number 1 or the number 1 in number 2. It just depends on who's using the decks and how they're using it, right? The reason why I think this deck is so good, all right, is because of this card right here. Protos is insane. The ability to not be destroyed by card effects, but also to prevent your opponent from special summoning monsters of a specific attribute, like Dark. Calling Dark is just insane. It gets rid of a lot of the problem cards, like Axis Code Talker, Protos himself, you know, not Baron, what's that one card? DPE, yep, there it is. And just such a good card, even against the mirror match, right? Because they can't get to you special summon their Vishita, but Vishita obviously has a second effect where he can bounce a card back to the hand, or is it the deck? I don't remember. Back to the hand. So yeah, very, very good deck. This Protos makes it very good. And on top of that, people are now running the Rivalry, and I think they should have been doing that, because I remember I watched the YCS a while ago when the Sword Soul deck won against the Mystic Mine Sky Striker, and it was really good. He was running this card, and he showed that this card is very, very like solid in this deck, right? It says right here, each player can only control one type of monster. Send all face-up monster they control to the graveyard. So obviously the type is Worm. If you have a Sword Soul, so you can have out your Worm monsters. Well, all the decks have different kind of monsters. They can't special summon. If you're going first, they can't basically they can't special summon into other monsters unless it's the same type, right? So that's really good card as well. So I think this deck is very, very solid still, even without Hulk. You don't need Hulk. Here's the extra deck that they are running. You're able to, if you on a good day, right, if you have the right hand, you're able to go into Grandmaster, Barone, and this guy. You're chilling. You're literally chilling. This guy banished 2 cards, 1200 for each. Insane. 1 special summon, 1 spell. So cards like, even like a card like Skill Drain, right? If they decide to flip Skill Drain up, you can banish it. I'm pretty sure, unless it says just spell card. Nope, spell or trap. So you banish that, Skill Drain becomes dead, do 1200 on top of the 2000 that they do to themselves, on top of the 1200 that you do if they special summon a monster, maybe like Eldritch, right? So I think this deck definitely deserves the number 2 or number 1. It could go in either way. Okay, so if you guys want to use this deck, here is that deck list. There you go. Alright guys, for the number 1 spot, we have none other than the branded Despia. You guys probably already figured out what the number 1 deck was going to be. Like I said, Sword Soul could be here, or Despia deserves it, you know? So either one, very good. But in my personal opinion, I do believe that this deck is the best deck in the game, and it will be for a little bit, until I think it's gonna last a while. Alright, I think it will be able to play through Therions when we get there. Therions, when we get that, the ABC Therion deck is going to be really good as well. Be on the lookout for that. I will make a video for that. I'm not gonna lie to you. It will be able to play against Sprite when that decides to drop. So it will do well over time. All right. Hopefully they decide to keep Mystic Mine banned. Don't unban that card. I will fight you, Konami. I will find you guys if you unban Mystic Mine. But yeah, this deck very, very good. Ever since Branded Fusion came and the new support came, Branded Lost, insane. Those cards are so good. It's not even funny. That new, this guy is not playing it, but the Mercurier with a Tri-Brigade, the ability to negate monster effect, like really good. Like, oh my god, Barone can't do anything against it. Okay, Barone cannot do anything. If you bait the negates right for Sword Soul, Barone won't do anything, and they can't negate the monster effect, or if you have Branded Lost on the field. So very, very good deck right here. The ability to just recycle your cards so much. In my latest video with Rhymestyle, he was mentioning how the ability I have to draw and recycle the cards back from the graveyard, back from the banished card to my hand is just insane. Like, oh my god. Just talking about it, getting hyped. I want to go use it right now again to rank up. I might stream today, like I said, so turn on that notification. You guys don't know. You guys do not know. But here is the deck. You can use my deck list. I think my deck list is a little bit better than this, in my personal opinion. I wouldn't try this one. I mean, you could. You would do well with it still, but I think mine's just a little bit better. No offense to this gentleman that uploaded it on this site here, but yeah, this deck is number 1 in the game, in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if I was right on with the top 5 decks in the game. I think it's definitely Heroes, then Fluanderies, Dragon Link, Sword Soul or Despia, then Despia or Sword Soul, right? So very, 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 very good. The season's gonna be crazy. You're gonna see a lot of Despia still. You might see a bunch of what's it called, Dragon Links, because now that Hulk is gone, people who love synchro summons, they're gonna be like, okay, let's go to Dragon Links. There you go. I myself am one of those people. And then Fluanderies, you might see. I haven't been seeing too much of it, I'm not gonna lie to you, since the Despia came out, because Despia can actually play through Fluanderies Floodgate. So it's really, really good deck. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Very good. And Mirror Jade, such a good card. Non-targeting banish and the absolute 0 effect. Insane. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, all this stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.